Hi, everyone. This is Mayor Sean Patterson Howard, and we are here for our Tuesday night update. We have some special guests tonight with us. So we're asking that right now that you take a moment to share this video. Share this video with friends. We have business owners from our personal care industry, our barbershops, our beauty salons, our nail salons on tonight. We're going to ask that you please take a moment to share this video with friends and with family on your page. And I'm going to take a moment to do the same. So just give me 1 second while I share and do what I'm asking you to do. You can start a watch party. Okay. We are going to be speaking to industry experts tonight, like I said, on beauty salons, barbershops, nail salons, and the personal care industry. So everyone, welcome to our Tuesday night update. This is Mayor Sean Patterson Howard. I am joined tonight by Ms. Claudette Gyles. Ms. Gyles has been in business here in Mount Vernon for many years. She owns the Essence of Beauty Salon in 2 different locations. Ms. Gyles also, she's been doing business here in Mount Vernon for over 25 years, but she's going to tell you a little bit more about herself and her credentials. She does incredible work, and she's also a community activist. She gives back to the community. We also have with us Mr. Charnay Phaire. Mr. Charnay Phaire opened up his barbershop here in Mount Vernon about 1.5 years ago, but then he also opened up the Westchester Barber Academy about 8 months ago. But he has been in the industry for over 25 years and is a leader in the community. And then we have Jackie. We're waiting for her to come back on video. I think she was doing something with her sound. There we go. See, you know, the young people can help us. And so we have Jackie. We have Jackie from Jackie's Nails. And Jackie has been in business here for over 25 years in Mount Vernon. And so they do nails, they do eyelashes and other personal care services, essential services. All of them are located here within the boundaries of Mount Vernon. And then we also have Mr. Dwayne Brown, who has been working with the business community, who will be jumping into our conversation as well. So we're going to start out right now. We're going to start out with Ms. Claudette Gyles. Ms. Gyles, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? And then have the conversation about, you know, how it's been to be closed down. What are some of your concerns about opening back up? And how are you making adjustments to your business to prepare for the reopening?
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. And thanks for having me, by the way.
You're welcome.
As was stated before, I'm Claudette Gyles. I've been in Mount Vernon. I've owned the business in Mount Vernon for over 10 years. Well, coming up to 10 years in June 15th, actually. I have 2 locations, one on 4th Avenue in Mount Vernon and one on 1st Street. It's been a journey. I am also an educator with Design Essential. A lot of you know that I travel a lot. I do the foundation with the homeless and foster care kids. I do a lot of freelance work, wedding, Miss Universe, Jamaica. I do work with them. So I wear a lot of hats, but most importantly, I am a salon owner, business owner, small business, Black woman-owned business here in Mount Vernon. I've been out for almost 2 months. Well, it's been 2 months for me. I've been out a little bit longer than maybe most because I thought I was exposed. Thank God I came out on the other side. I was good. But it's been a journey. I do have other stylists that rent spaces from me. So I'm a booth renter. So meaning I don't have commission workers. I have booth renters, which sometimes meaning they have a business inside my business, which sometimes that's the hardest part. Because for me, I used to have stylists that pays their rent weekly. And, you know, that helps to take care of the bills. Now, you know, the person I ask the stylist, no, they're not paying. They're not going to pay. It's just we're home. So we're home. But Claudia has to figure it out, which I'll figure it out. God will work something out. But for me, I could not have my stylist worrying about paying me, coming back to work, their families, that kind of stuff. So I took, you know, the last day we worked was the day they had to pay for that week, and then that was it. Coming back, well, being home, it's been a journey. I've been busy. I've been very, very busy, actually. Doing a lot of online classes. I've been doing researches, online classes. Design Essential do keep us busy. We have meetings like every single day, 1, 2, 3. And most of the meetings are like this, helping us coping, helping the community, teaching us to help the community to cope, so to speak. So I've been speaking with a lot of my friends in Atlanta that are supposed to be opening, and a lot of them are closed. A lot of the stylists in Atlanta, they're not open because that's one of our fear, that we're going to be open and we're going to be at risk. I'll pause to say this. Hairstylists, barbers, nail technicians, people in the beauty industry, we are so at risk for everything. You never know who's coming up to you. We are in your face. So if I have it and you see me, you are going to get it. I'm all in your scalp, in your head, breathing on you. So the precautions I'm going to name is really to protect the public. I think it's my responsibility as a business owner first to protect the public, to protect the people that are coming into my establishment. And I'm going to try as best to do what I can. What am I doing? This will be one of my new uniform. Not necessarily a mask, but a shield, like we use in the hospital. This is one of the things we'll be doing. No bringing kids into the salon, you know, staggering my appointments, meaning all the stylists might not be able to work at the same time. You know, because it's one's location is close. If all the stylists have one person there, it's going to be over the limit. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be more than 10 people in the salon, I promise, because one location has 7 chairs, one has 6 chairs. So if all stylists are there, we're almost over the limit. So
but are your chairs kind of 5-6 feet apart?
No, they're not 6 feet apart.
Okay.
So what I'll do is every other stylist. So I'll give hours, because I really think opening should be in phases. Mm-hmm. where one phase should be, you know, staggering the appointments, and, you know, and then the other phase should, you know, I think it should be in like 3 to 4 different stages, and then see how it is. I'm going to be providing masks for my stylists, or required to provide masks for my stylists. And for my customers, I need my customers to be wearing masks when they come in. It's hard to get, so I will have some masks. Not sure how it's going to work yet, because it gets very expensive. I'm going to have hand sanitizer stations. I'm going to have, once you enter the salon, you have to go directly to the bathroom, wash your hands, and then, you know, maybe I'll speak to, you know, other stylists about what they think, getting throwaway aprons for each stylist and for each client. Because one thing I do know from being around in the industry, it's a lot of people are not making it. And a lot of people, I have a couple of people I know in Atlanta that went back to work. One person that we were on the call, they went back to work, and he was like, Claudette, I went back to work, cut the guys here. And he called me and said, I might be exposed. So we can't, as stylists, be confident that the public is going to have our best interests at heart. So my responsibility is, as the leader of my business, you know, is to take steps to help the community, you know. So that's some of the things I'm going to have in place also. And also,
just 1 second, Claudette, because earlier you said that you are part of an organization called Design Essentials.
Yes.
And that really covers the Northeast and the East Coast of the U.S. up until Canada. Mm-hmm. And you said you're part of 200, part of a 200 mm-hmm. instructor network. So mm-hmm. you don't just own a beauty salon or 2 beauty salons. You don't just freelance as part of like Miss Universe.
I'm an educator.
Miss America. You're also an educator. You train and help certify people who are getting their cosmetology licenses.
Yes, I do.
And so you understand the need for health and safety. It's really interesting, because I think when I first put my emergency order out, before the governor closed down beauty and barber salons, I called you. You were one of the people who I called because I really wanted to get your input before I did this. And you said, well, Sean, you know, I actually appreciate that. We have to do what we have to do. And yes, it's going to be a financial challenge, but I understand my health and the health of those that I'm working with are really important. And that really helped me. I was going to make the decisions that I had to make regardless of how people felt, but I was heartened in knowing that as a business owner that you put the health and welfare of yourself and your customers kind of ahead of the profits that you would be losing by shutting down. And I think that says a lot when you have business owners who take that stance, especially when we were dealing with something that we had never seen before. We could have 2-3 times the numbers that we're dealing with now if we didn't make some of these hard decisions.
Yes. I had a client, actually, so funny, like on the second wave, once we were closed, I had a client, she had it. Her husband, unfortunately, didn't make it. He passed from it. And, you know, I think until it reached home to some people for you to understand that this is really a serious situation, you know, all we have to do is take precautions. I travel, like sometimes I'll take a ride and I'll see people still gathering. And I'm like, wow, they're not really getting how serious it is. People are losing their lives. People are dying. And you know, so for me, even for my stylist now, there is and I'm going to put it on my Instagram. I'm going to put my Instagram in the comment. I'm going to post it on my Instagram. There's a Barbicide certification that I require all my stylists now to get. It's free. You go online. If you're a hairstylist, it's free for you to get it. So I require all my hairstylists now to get it. And the reason I'm doing that is a simple Barbicide certification, but it tells you how to correctly mix the Barbicide, what Barbicide product to use on what, you know, how disinfectant actually works. And for me, that is actually going to be helpful for me because it's going to tell me that my staff, they're taking it seriously. They you know, and disinfectant is deep. It's not just shampooing the hair, washing the combs. It's using a comb per client, rinsing the comb after each use, using a neck strip before you put a cape on. So there are different things and different levels that we might need to think about going back in and make sure we have this conversation. You know, this is what needs to be done. And my stylists are hurting, I'm sure. They all have kids, they have family. Me closing, of course, I don't have another income coming in. So I'm hurting the same way they're hurting, but I prefer to have them alive and have my clients alive than have them going in knowing that it's not going to help. So for me, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Thank you so much. So now I want to pull in Jackie from Jackie's Nails. And Jackie, you know, tell us about yourself. I know you've been here in the industry in Mount Vernon for 25 years and you have a business on 4th Avenue. Self-disclosure, that's where I get my nails done. So Jackie, tell us about Jackie's Nails and how this shutdown has impacted you. And, you know, what are the discussions that you're having with your staff around reopening and the different policies and processes that you'll put in place to ensure the safety of your staff and of the customers that are using your business?
Okay, good afternoon, you know, Ms. Sean. And I live in Mount Vernon 25 years. You hear me, right? Okay. I don't know much, you know, how I have to say, but I would like to let the people know when, you know, the business reopen, I just want, you know, like the customer, when they come, they have the face mask to be in case, you know, like, I don't want, you know, to get, you know, somebody, you know, to get, you know, like, you know, germ, you know, together. Yeah. And my business, you know, is like a family business. Everybody in there, you know, like small business, that's a family, but we don't have, you know, like no one else, you know, from outside, you know, to work. So when the season, you know, like when we open the business, I have, you know, like this, Richard, you know.
Yes.
Yes. Then way before that, you know, I have, you know, everything, you know, from that. And so like bleach and everything we do. And Miss Shawnee, when you come to my shop, you see that too. Yes. We're very clean. We're really clean. We have to do everything, you know, when we reopen, you know, again.
Is that Michelle with you?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Michelle's working.
She's working?
Yeah,
okay.
she's yeah.
So you can unmute Claudette. Claudette, are you trying to say something?
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll also add too, in preparation for opening as an owner, like now I'll go in and I'm cleaning, I'm removing all the towels that I have, washing everything new, I'm cleaning all the stations, you know, so the preparation really needs to start before we get into the salon. So I'm going in now, you know, touching up, wiping down, disinfecting. Like I sprayed it up today, almost, you know, hurt myself with too much bleach, but it's for the safety. So that's another thing I wanted to say too. We have to make sure we disinfect before we start working also.
Absolutely. I mean, and I know that's part of what Jackie was saying, going in, and she showed her Barbicide certification, and so that she's going to be taking those precautions. You know, we've seen in supermarkets, people kind of put barriers in between the different stations. I'm not sure if those are things that you're looking at, or how, you know, you would reduce access.
That's right, you know, I will do right now. Yeah. I buy, you know, my stuff and everything, you know, even, you know, the shit to cover, you know, for the face. When you do somebody, you know, like eyebrow, eyelash, eyebrow, eyelash. And from people, you know, doing nail too. You're right. That exactly, you know, I will do, you know, right now. Yes. I supply and everything, you know, already now.
Okay, so you're getting your supplies and your shields ready, and your
and each by the table, I have to do by look like, you know, inside the bank, you know, to cover the side by the work with the customer. Yeah.
Okay, so you might put up a barrier between the nail technologist and the customer, and have let them put their hands go under. Okay.
But before that, you know, the customer come in, look like, you know, my, you know, like the barber, you know, she said, like, you know, have to be the customer we make right now by appointment only. So when they come, have to be the face mask. Then when they walk inside, they have to go straight to the back, you know, to wash them in. After that, you know, they can sit down, you know, by the chair, and then we can do them now.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, so the technician have to be, you know, with the clock on, you know, we can do, you know, for them. For the customer. Yes.
Okay. I mean, we want to always make sure that we are protecting the staff as well as the public. You know, we don't want to put the staff at risk, because if staff gets infected and they continue to take care of the public, then they're just infecting the public too. So we want to really minimize the risk of people infecting and going back and forth with infections. So Jackie, we're going to come back to you, but right now we're going to pull in Mr. Charnay Phaire of the Westchester Barber Academy, and have a conversation with him. So Charnay, please tell us about your business, what you've been doing here in Mount Vernon, and how this shutdown has impacted your business, and the plans that you and your team are making to reopen.
Sure. First off, thank you for having me. My name is Charnay Phaire. I'm the executive director and founder of Westchester Barber Academy. Westchester Barber Academy functions in 4 different tiers. One, we go to places where people are confined to a space for whatever reason, and we either bring the barbershop experience to them, such as a nursing home, or we actually teach barbering at remote locations. So right now we're up to 13 site contracts. 2 of our biggest contracts are Rikers Island and Administration for Children's Services, where we teach barbering. 2, we have the barbershop located on 3rd and Fulton. And then right next door, we have Westchester Barber Academy's Barber School, where those who are attempting to be licensed and trying to become barbers, or barbers need to, you know, refresh their skills, get an infection control certificate, which is actually a prerequisite of licensing. You know, that's where we host our 540-hour class. The fourth way that we operate is through Westchester Barber Academy Foundation, in which we try to spread health awareness through different barbershops. Recently, we won a grant with Public Health Solutions in the Department of Mental Health and Hygiene, in which we adopted 6 barbershops in the New York City area, and we trained them on being health ambassadors. And the particular topic at that point was HIV prevention. So this COVID-19 has really affected our business because we weren't able to conduct our site contracts. We had to close down the barbershop. We had to halt our barber school students. Our barber school students were about a month away from graduating. So we learned to pivot. So in business, that's one of the most important aspects, is learning to pivot. So we actually switched to a distance learning module in which our students can still log into the learning management system. We can track their hours. They're still continuing with the theory portion of barber school. And then when we get back, we'll resume with the practical. So COVID-19 has really affected our business because we have about 15 staff members amongst the site contracts, the barber school, the barber shop, and after we closed down, one of my staff members got it. I had my custodian pass from it, so we lost someone. This was after we closed. But as barbers, we always have to be precautionary. Barbers and just not just barbers, but in the cosmetology industry, nail technician, everything. We have to assume that people are carrying something, because when people sit in our chair, they don't tell us, hey, before you go, I want my hair this way, but also I have X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So we always have to take somewhat of a paranoid approach when it comes to disinfecting our tools, sterilizing and everything. With COVID-19, we're actually going to take it a step further. Between the barbershop and barber school, we have 7 chairs in the barbershop. We have 10 chairs in the barber school which is where the students get their practice. So we can service up to 17 people in one sitting. However, we are going to make sure that we push online appointments as much as possible. In addition to that, we want to make sure that our patrons are going with the cashless system, so that we don't have gloves on and then we are handling money. That just stagnates the sterilization process. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, we've purchased those thermometers in which you can check for, if someone is symptomatic. We'll be able to tell if they have a fever. We also want to make sure that there's no one waiting. If someone is waiting on their appointment, they can sit in their car. They'll need to be as on time as possible. We also have extra waiting areas. So when we actually open up, we want to make sure that we take all the precautions, but also, just acknowledge the first responders, the firefighters, the police officers, the medical staff. When we open, we're actually going to service all of those folks for free, just as a thank you, because we were able to stay home and be protected at their expense.
Absolutely. And so you brought that up, the digital thermometers, and those are very important. That's going to be a very important part of the protocol for businesses, that they have the digital thermometers so that they can test people who are coming in, so that they can test their staff. I mean, we have to do that here at work right now. So that's definitely really, really important to do. So thank you for some of those protocols that you're looking to put in place. I hear each of you saying that one of the comments that we got from online is that walk-ins are going to become a thing of the past, whether it's for nails, hair, barbershops, eyelashes, is that in order to have that social distancing and making sure that you're managing the numbers of people who are there. that appointments are going to be much, much more important. So I want to just pull back for a second. I'm asking for everyone to please take a moment and share this video. Please start a watch party, those who are watching. We just want to make sure that as many people are getting this information as possible. So we're asking that you start a watch party. We do have another few guests to bring on. We are trying to get Miss Mariama on here as well. I'm going to have Malcolm send her a link because she does African hair braiding, and we want to make sure that we have different types of beauty industries represented here online. Right now, Mount Vernon is at 2,068 cases of confirmed COVID. You know, that's a serious number. That's a serious number, but we have a very dense population. We have 100,000 people here in Mount Vernon. And really, when you speak to people, they believe that 1 in 4 people in our region are infected. So 2,068 does not even begin to speak to the true numbers that we might have here. I went today and I took an antibody test. And so I'll find out in the next 3 to 5 days if I was exposed, but maybe just remained asymptomatic and didn't really come down with any heavy symptoms. You know, I had some headaches, I had a sore throat, I didn't have a cough, I never got a fever or anything like that, but I just social distanced. You know, I did what I needed to do, but it never rose to the level where I could go and get a test, because you just can't go and get a test because you want a test. You have to really, really be symptomatic. So I might find on the back end that I might have been asymptomatic and didn't know about it. So we're going to pull in Miss Melissa Thompson. And Miss Melissa Thompson is a business owner here in Mount Vernon, and she focuses on lashes. So Ms. Thompson, if you can please let us know who you are. And we're asking everyone, how has the shutdown impacted your business? And what are some of the things that you're going to do as a part of reopening and coming back online when it's time for the businesses to open? What type of precautions are you going to put in place to ensure your safety and the safety of your customers?
Okay. Well, my name is Melissa Thompson, as you just said, and I'm an eyelash technician. How has it affected my business? Well, I still have my rent to pay and all of that, and I'm not able to pay it. It's gonna be maybe 3 months now. I haven't paid rent, so I have to try and catch up whenever everything is back to normal. When it comes to precaution and being safe, I work by appointments. Mm-hmm. So I do one-on-one. I don't have like more than one person at a time. I just have one person at a time. And we have when you come in, you wash your hands. As you enter the building, you wash your hands, and I wash my hands as well. I keep my equipment clean and sterilized. So social distance will be easy for me. Wear your mask, I wear my mask, and just wash your hands. That's the most I can do to protect me and my clients. So, yeah.
Okay. You know, insofar as one of the things that we were talking about is that the beauty industry here in Mount Vernon is not necessarily organized, and we know that people have to be certified, but insofar as the beauty industry coming together and organizing themselves, sharing these best practices, and kind of self-regulating outside of the State Department of Health, you know, this would be a great opportunity. I ran a Y for many years, and we had childcare coalitions, and we were able to get updated training and education and information. And, you know, this whole reset of businesses might be a perfect time for our to have a restaurant association, a personal care association, so that businesses could come together and really share what they're doing. Competition, you know, collaboration is going to beat out competition every day. I know a lot of people are very competitive, but if you're doing eyelashes and Claudette's doing hair and Jackie's doing nails, Charnay is doing haircuts, how can these businesses come together and work together more to really get business going again here in Mount Vernon. I think this is going to be really, really important. The small businesses are the lifeblood of our business community, and it's going to be really incumbent on not only the city, but for the city to work with our businesses to ensure that we're partnering, that we're educating, that we are compliant around best practices, and that we're setting standards for business. Because we want our business industry to be successful here in Mount Vernon. We want the owners to be safe, and we want the citizens here in Mount Vernon to be safe. So, you know, we're definitely looking forward to working with you in the industry to ensure that as we do open, and when I say open, we're not saying that we're opening tomorrow. We still have to wait on the governor to release restrictions. And all of us are anxious to open, but we want to open in a fashion that is going to be safe, that is going to be responsible. And as we've already said, some of it might have to happen in phases and stages. And I can tell you, the City of Mount Vernon, we're going to have our own standards, you know, kind of like the Better Business Bureau. We're not going to set standards that are going to be impossible to meet, but we will set standards that will be responsible and will ensure to the greatest extent possible the safety of our businesses and our residents. I just want to look down here at some of the questions. So I did mention that I got an antibody test today. Today, I went to Stop and Shop, and they happened to have a line of people out there, and they were doing antibody testing. One day last week, they were doing it at Food Town. So they haven't necessarily been announcing it, but because they really want random people. And so I was able to get an antibody test today. We are looking to get more information about more frequent antibody testing, because like I said, I believe that there are so many more people who've been exposed to this and may not have gotten major symptoms, but it will be important for us to really understand as a community how much this has impacted the community. So Kim backstage, Barry said that they will have clear face shields available soon. There should be random inspections to ensure that businesses are being compliant. That comes from Cassandra Marrow Evans. And so Ms. Evans, we right now have an essential business task force and a social distancing task force, and our police and our fire and our Office of Emergency Management and our code enforcement officers are going around the city. But what would be even more helpful is that if people see violations, that they can contact us at 665-2500 and let us know what type of violations it is and where. You know, there are people saying, oh, I heard that this place was open, or I heard that place was open, without specific information. We can't treat health like word on the street. And then also at the same time, we don't want people to report businesses just because they're trying to spite these businesses or they don't like these businesses. So we're going to take into consideration all of those things. We received calls and hits on Facebook this past Friday that said that Burger King and Domino's were not using masks, that they didn't have any personal protective equipment, and that they were not necessarily requiring people who came in for business to have that. And so we've sent our team of people out, and they were able to confirm some of those complaints, and we required them to have masks. And so, you know, we're happy to report that those businesses are operating now with masks and the proper protective equipment. So you could see it there. That's one of the pictures. We went back to Domino's. We got the call on Friday. By Friday evening, we went over there. We were able to rectify it. Of course, the picture continued to be shared on Facebook for days and days, and people are still sharing a picture from last week. But we can say that Domino's is in compliance, and we will continue to do drive-bys and, as they say, pull up and check out the scene to make sure that people are being compliant. We cannot be the COVID police. It's not as if we've gotten an extra 20 people on staff that can ride around and just pop into businesses. So the more information that we get from the public, the more targeted our approach can be. So hold on, let's see if we have any other questions. So Dwayne Brown is, you know, the former head of the Mount Vernon Chamber of Commerce. And we want to just pull you in for a minute, Dwayne. You've been speaking to a lot of the businesses. And while you are no longer the chair of the Chamber of Commerce, I thank you so much for not sitting on ceremony and sitting idly beside. You have taken the initiative. You came to us, you've been speaking to businesses, and you have clearly demonstrated that you are a leader. You're not worrying about the title and all of those things. You've been reaching out to a lot of businesses all throughout Mount Vernon and making sure that we're connected. So I want to say thank you for that. What are some of the other things that you are hearing?
I mean, first,
you can pull Ms. Jang in also, because she's under attendees. If you can pull Ms. Jang in, she is logging in now.
I'm from that city that helped me and helped build my business. So title has never been my thing. You know, too many people have looked out for me not to reciprocate that kind of love and respect for people. So that's the easy thing for me. But, you know, I'm hearing, I try to communicate. I have a business of my own, right? I try to communicate with other people. We're going through things. It's some days I have good days. Some days I'm not so good, right? Worry about my family, worry about my situation. But we became entrepreneurs, and to know that we got to be a little stronger. So what I encourage a business community to do is just stick in there, talk to one another. I know everybody on the line. I try to communicate with them if I can help with answers. And real talk, you know, the SBA loans aren't meant for people like me right away, right? So I can't rush to a SBA loan and think I'm getting that loan. I have to be practical on my lifestyle and what's going on. So I'm realistic. I'm praying that this will be over. But in the meantime, you know, we just got to stick in there and try to build a better community when this is all over, right? So better stores, better safety, just better vibe throughout the whole community. That's what I'm hoping for, because we're all in this together. So whether my business is big or small, we all broke right now. We're all hurting, you know, and, you know, just trying to make the best of it right now.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. You know, the bottom line, so I'm responding to some questions that are under my live on my page also. Yes, the Small Business Association did put out another round of loan applications that came in today. The Westchester County government, they have over 200 volunteers who are standing ready to assist our small businesses in applying for these payday loans or personal payroll protection program, as well as the small business disaster relief loans. So through the County of Westchester, you can go on westchestergov.com. They have people who are waiting to assist people in completing these applications. Another question that I got is, someone asked me, what is the difference between getting a test for COVID and the antibody test? Well, the test for COVID is something that you would get, you know, early if you're feeling symptomatic. And it would let you know if you are COVID positive, and, you know, but if you're feeling symptomatic, you want to start a process of isolating yourself and drinking teas and taking Tylenol if you're having body aches and fevers and things of that nature. An antibody test is something on the back end that if you've never gone and gotten a test for COVID, and if you didn't come down with heavy symptoms, it will let you know if you've been exposed to the COVID virus. And if you have been, then your body will develop antibodies to show that you've had exposure. So there's a part of me that hopes that I do test antibody positive, then that lets me know that I've already started developing a defense in my body towards COVID. And, you know, were I to get it, that it would not be as bad as it might have been for someone who were being exposed and having heavy symptoms, an infection for the first time. So we do have, oh my goodness, what happened? You were there, Miss Jang, Miss Mariama?
Yes.
Are you there? We can't see you.
Yes, I'm here.
Did you take away your picture? There you go.
I'm here.
Okay, so Ms. Jang owns a African hair braiding shop right there on Prospect Avenue. She was downstairs from my office, and we always got to see her often. So can you tell us about what the impact of having to close down for COVID has been on your business, and, you know, what plans do you have for reopening, and what type of precautionary measures will you put in place to ensure the safety of your staff as well as your clients?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, guys. How are you? Yeah, my name is Maria Majay. I'm by 7 West Prospect Avenue. I've been there for 13 years now. I know now we are in a hard situation about what's going on. The best thing we can do for us gathering people, especially us gathering people, we are the only people that we have to do a best to protect our customers and protect the peoples. And for now, what we can do, I think that we have to be very, 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 very careful. How we walked before and now is going to be totally different, because we are walking now in a position of a protection time we are in now. What we are planning to do is that, I know, first of all, the thing we all wearing now is the mask. We try our best to protect the customers coming inside the shop. Plus, we the first ones who have to do it, and so that the customers can know that we are ready for them, because we have to ready for it so that they could know that we are part of the protection. If we, like a customer coming in, is everybody now wearing their own masks, but I will try my level best, get ready to have my boxes of masks and have my sanitizers and have every protect that we could do that to protect ourselves. Have we doing it in our houses? Because we have to care there so that they can know that we care the whole world. For now, we all home. When we go shopping, people are trying to protect us. But when we go back, that's the only thing we can do to do it to be survived on all of us. Yeah, we are trying our level best to do that. Getting ready for it when we open. I ordered my masks for my clients in case, you never know. And I ordered the masks for my people who are working for me, each of one of them. I think the lady doing the hairstyle, she showed us that one, the one we ordered on Amazon. We have all those to get ready, and we have hand sanitizers in each station to get ready for it. Have the gloves if any customer need it for the protection. So everybody is protecting themselves now. Yeah.
I mean, it's just very important. All businesses are going to have to,
very important.
You know, sanitizing your business is making sure that you're doing deep cleaning, you know, more than kind of just the mopping and the sweeping. Daily, it's several times a day. Everyone is wiping down surfaces, ensuring that people are wearing masks. As it's been said, ensuring that we are taking the temperatures of our staff as well as the customers, making sure that people have appointments as opposed to dropping in.
Yeah, that's the next one too. We are not doing no more walk-ins for now. The only thing we can do, we do appointments, because we cannot gather people in there.
Right.
We're gonna walk by appointments now. We cannot do any more walk-ins, because we cannot gather. Like, people are waiting there, 5, 6 people waiting. You have 6 people on your chair walking. It's kind of risky, and it's kind of scary for all of us.
And I'm going to tell you, the most successful businesses will be the businesses that are demonstrating to the public that they are taking the necessary precautions. We can't tell you how many phone calls we get with the public saying they're not practicing social distancing, or they're not using proper protect. The people in the community want to spend their money in a place where they feel that they can be safe. So it's no longer just who does the best lashes. They want you to do good lashes, but they want to know that they're also safe. And that you don't have to have people on your back. Okay. I mean, you know, that's it. I tell people, everyone has a choice. Everyone has a choice to decide where to spend their money. If you walk into a supermarket and you don't feel safe in there and you don't feel protected, turn around and leave. Now, you can report them, but you can also turn around and leave. If you go into a store and they're not, you know, practicing proper precautions, report them, but turn around and leave, because sometimes the only way that businesses and people get the message is when the pocket is hit.
Yes,
when stuff starts hitting your pockets, people understand that. And so I want to be very clear that we are going to, I'm not going to say promote, but we will, as the City of Mount Vernon, have our own task force, have our own set of standards, and probably even create some type of, not Better Business Bureau, but a resiliency and a compliance rating for the businesses in the community. We want to make sure that all of the businesses are operating, are properly registered with the city. No more of this kind of just opening up because you rented a location. You're not registered officially as a business and you have to be compliant. We're going to be cracking down on those things. And then we're going to make sure that the businesses that are licensed and certified to operate are using proper precautions. So we just have about 15 minutes left. I don't know if there's any more questions from our audience. Let me give you a moment to, let me just look.
Yeah, thank you so much for you guys joining.
Oh, so there was a question here. One of the questions, I guess, would go for you, Ms. Jang. It says, how are you going to braid with gloves on?
No. The gloves are not for me, but for the customers who ever want to use it to stay there to be, want to protect themselves. But us, we're going to wear the mask. And we're going to hand sanitize our hands time to time and wash hands like as usual, people doing it. But for us, we cannot wear gloves. But I will provide gloves for in case a customer coming in want to protect themselves.
And they want
will be available. The hand sanitizer will be available and the gloves will be available.
Absolutely.
Can I say one thing also? I think too, for us and our protection, checking the temperatures are going to be very important, and asking the right questions. You know, don't be afraid to ask the customers, were you around? Is anyone in your family sick? Did you have a fever? Do you have a cough? Are you living with anyone that had it? Because people are thinking, so I'm living, my wife had it, but she's downstairs and I'm upstairs. That means you're exposed and we're at risk. So there are questions that I'm working on and getting from my hairstylist family, and we're putting it together simply because these are questions we must ask. And you know,
you have the right to refuse service.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I was up all night ordering supplies. And I'll say this also to the stylists that are on the call. Don't wait until the week before we hear that we're going to be open, or we think we're going to be open, to start getting your supply. Get your supplies now, because what's happening is I placed an order on Amazon for some facial masks and some disposable aprons, and it's going to take me 3 weeks to get. So it's not like you're going to get them the next day, or it's going to be express shipping.
And I promise you, on day one of businesses opening, we're going to expect you to have your personal protective equipment. That's why the planning starts now, or else we're not going to, you know, allow people to open those businesses and operate without those protections in place. I want to just pull Charnay and Jackie back into the conversation as well. You know, you've heard more. Jackie, do you have anything else to contribute to this conversation? You've heard some of your colleagues within the industry talk about the precautions. You've been around for 25 years. You know your customers, and I'm sure your customers are going to expect you to provide the safest environment possible. And what are you doing? What will you say to your customers to ensure them that you are working to take the proper precautions?
I have to tell them the same thing. Like, just say, to be, you know, like when they want to come over to see me, so they have to wear the mask. Go straight down, you know, to the bathroom, you know, to wash the hand. Even the worker have to wear the, you know, the hand before, you know, to wear the glove before to touch, you know, the customer hand. Yes. And also by the side, in the each table, we have, you know, the hand sanitizer, you know, by each table, you know, for them.
And then you said you were going to put the sneeze
guards
in between.
Yes, I do right now. You know, by 1 hour, you know, every day I go to Mount Vernon. I do a little bit time by a little bit time. I do right now. I order, you know, my supply and everything already.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're preparing to open back up.
Yes.
You're just waiting for us to give the signal.
Yeah, I'm tired to stay in home, Miss Sean. I'm really tired. I miss my customer too.
Yes, well, trust me, we miss coming in. You know, this is part of the social fabric and you know, our self-care. So I put up the other day that I lost 2 of my nails. It got like 400 hits and hundreds of comments. You know, people, a lot of people made comments saying, you know, wow, different ones said, I have acetone, come get some acetone from me so you could soak off your nails.
Miss Sean, cut them down short and fine. You will buy it.
Hair tips.
You know, just like others here, my grays are coming in. So look, you know, but we'll get around to it. If I have to wrap my hair up, I don't mind doing it. Like I said, my health right now is more important than my vanity, and we're asking people to follow the rules. And so if we're asking them to follow the rules, we have to. So Charnay, I want to pull you back in.
Yeah, you made a great point earlier. I think that there's always opportunity in, you know, the darkest of despair, right? And I think that you know, what this too shall pass. What are we going to do, like, when this is all said and over, it was said and done? Because what I see on this call right now is some great collaboration that's happening, right? And then the community is getting involved with policing, and that was great. The other day we were filming a distance learning session to edit and send to our students, and then I was actually pleased. The police came and knocked on the door to inquire about what we were doing, saying that they got a call, and then we showed them, you know, our letters from the state that we got approved to do distance learning and everything, and it was fine. But I was really proud that the community had eyes on, you know, just the entire neighborhood. And I think that we need to take some of these practices that we've developed in this time of despair and continue them, because eventually, you know, COVID is going to dissipate. It may not be something quick, but we when there's a common enemy, you know, we all pull together. What I would hate to see is that COVID go away and we go back to business as usual, being segregated, whether it's businesses, whatever the situation. Let's pull some best practices from this and continue to leverage each other.
Absolutely. It's going to be a unified effort. It's going to be a unified effort. And, you know, there are going to be some organizations that are better prepared to do business in this new arena than others. And there are going to be opportunities, like we said, for other businesses to reset, to retrain, and to take their craft seriously. Hygiene and sanitization of any business is very important, but especially our personal care businesses. It's very critical that we take this seriously, and that we're being very aggressive in making sure that our workers as well as the customers are protected. So definitely everyone, please make sure, I'm asking all of our panelists to make sure that you go back into this feed and that you put your business information in the comments, so that people who want to find out more about your business can easily get this information. We really, really appreciate each of you for coming on tonight and sharing information, sharing your thoughts. I look forward to working with you. Like I said, each of the different industries, as we are preparing and we're awaiting the focus of reopening our community and our businesses. But again, we're going to do it in phases, and we're going to do it in a way that is responsible, that is respectful, that is strategic, and that is going to be compliant around best health practices. So with that, are there anyone that has a closing thought that you want to share?
I just wanted to say to you, a lot of times the leader at the helm doesn't, you know, get much recognition because they're continuing to be the leader at the helm. So I wanted to thank you for your leadership and continuing to keep Mount Vernon safe and move the ball forward. And every day, I think that you re-emphasize to everyone why you were elected for this position. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, guys.
And I also want to say thank you for doing this, because there are people in the community, they're waiting to see when we're opening, what we're going to do. So thank you for the opportunity, that we could speak on it and, get the feedback actually from the customers, the consumers. So thank you, actually. It was good. And one thing I'll say though, it's going to be so difficult I wish it wasn't as difficult for some salons to put the glass, the separation up. The way some salons are designed, that's going to be hard. So the salons that cannot do that, going to have to take extra precautions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, we're here to help. Please reach out and be willing to have more conversations. We will probably be inviting some of our business owners to the table. And I have to say this because businesses are closed, it was hard for us to reach out to some of the other businesses that we wanted to reach out to as well. So we tried to reach out to, one of the barber and beauty salons in Fleetwood, the Fleetwood Barber Shop. We wanted to have them on. I was sending them inbox messages, but it was just really hard. But I think we have a diverse representation of businesses and different industries within the beauty industry here. And we thank you for taking out the time to really participate with us tonight. And we look forward to even greater participation and partnership going forward. Just wanted to make sure there were no other questions. Different people are saying, right now that they're learning how to cut their own hair. They're doing their nails. No one is saying, everyone is saying that they want these things to open, but in the meantime, a lot of people are going back to the old school and taking care of some things themselves. So tonight I will be going home and washing my hair and blowing it out, and I have my flat iron.
I've been selling packages to customers too, so that's been helpful.
every Friday,
packages, shampoos, conditioners, so that's been a little bit helpful. So at least I know the hair will be back in great condition.
Yes.
Every
Friday at 6 p.m. I also host the barber hour, because people are struggling to get son's hair, cut their own hair. So I kind of give an instructional video. And I saw Ms. Gyles also do the same thing. So, we're here to help as much as we can.
And we're going to get the organization together. There's something in the works, so we'll talk about it.
And depending on how long it takes for things to open back up, guys, don't be shocked if you see me in braids, because the one thing that I did the last day that Gina's Beauty and Barber Salon and Supply was open, I went up and got some number 27 color. I got 9 packs of hair. I just didn't know. I said, so you might see me in head wraps, you might see me in braids, but we're going to do whatever we have to do to get through this and get through it in a way that is responsible and healthy. So thank you, everyone. Have a great night. And
thank you so much. Thank you. Good night.
Join your merchants associations and your chambers. Make sure we all are members.
Yes.
We all should join our chambers and our merchants association, please.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So shout out to the Merchants Association and the Chamber.
Thank you so much, Miss Mayor. Thank you so much. And bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
We miss you guys. We'll be there soon.